This is what I like to see out of the Monday Night War line. We get all the main event players, you know, in other lines, and obviously a lot in this. Here we got Albert. They haven't done this gimmick of him, you know, for like the Attitude Era 90s like this, so finally get to have him. Now, this is saying November 22nd of 1999, where he's teaming with the Big Boss Man, so this is after his team with Draws, kind of doing the piercing gimmick stuff, where he's kind of in limbo before he forms his tag team with Test and Trish Stratus. So a weird time to make him of this, I guess. I feel like he probably would have been more known on either end of this exact attire, either more with Draws or more with the TNA tag team. Anyway, let's crack this open here. I wanted you to see how beat up it was because I got the pre-order and they just sent it in like a paper bag kind of package. It wasn't even like a bubble wrap package, so it just got smashed flat. And then, you know, I got it months later after everybody else found it too. So, pretty cool pre-order. I mean, at least I got it. I mean, not everybody can say that. You just don't understand the challenges of fulfilling a pre-order. It's too hard. Anyway, there's a Ted DiBiase Build-A-Figure. I'm not sure if I'll get a hold of all that. We'll see about that. I don't really remember him in the NWO that much anyway. Was he there for like 2 weeks? Anyway, big boy Albert here. Very thick-bodied. That's pretty cool. Probably really tall. We'll have to get some other figures. We'll get to compare some height here. But pretty awesome thick body. In the packaging, in like preview pictures online, the face wasn't looking amazing, but now that I have it, it actually does have a pretty good likeness. Pretty easy when he has like such a look with like the facial hair and all the piercings and stuff, but I think the face is kind of there too. He's got quite the head. But you can see all the little silver details of like all his piercings, earrings, and stuff in his chin. And if you look real close, there is in the nose. Now, this isn't Prince Albert, so I don't know if, don't make me explain the name Prince. Please, don't make me do it. But even on top of that, he's got like chains around the neck and stuff. So they didn't skimp here. I mean, they got the hair too, let me tell you. Look at all the, the hairy back detail. Just like the real deal. And I didn't get to see this in the package. They had like his logo of like his face on the back of his singlet. So that was kind of cool. Not really details you notice. I mean, there's a fan for everybody in wrestling. I don't know. I certainly don't know if there's people clamoring for like, I finally want to finish my Boss Man and Albert tag team in my collection. I don't know if there's got to be somebody out there. It wasn't me, but I do like just having Albert because he was part of the roster at that time. But again, it would have been better with like different versions. Like his attire with Draws would have been in WrestleMania 2000, the game. So this one isn't. And then he had the kind of different attire for later times in WWF No Mercy. So a little bit of a transition period, but Albert was there. He's got his like just pierce it logo in the front. He's got his gear like elbow pads and stuff, but all the real detail here is all these silver bits that are on his attire and just all his jewelry and piercings are all right there. Here we can see a little hint of something that I just won't even mention or get into. It's a little bit of his visibility of other tattoos there popping out. Thick boots and knee pads. Supposed to be 6'7" in height, but he looks like he's probably pretty big, probably on the 7-foot kind of scale with a lot of the other figures. But I do kind of like the variety where we have the taller figures with the others. So if they kind of bumped him up a little bit, just makes him stand out more as a bigger guy amongst the roster. And remember, kids, you control the pose. If you want him very tall, you put the legs together, and if you want to cut some height down, maybe kind of crouch him a little bit, solve that problem for him. Don't be a height whiner. Although, frankly, they should do better. I mean, I will agree with you there. Not my favorite wrestler of the time, but just somebody that's always there, so I think it looks cool in my collection, especially since I'm laser focused on this kind of later 90s time period. So this fits in perfectly. Despite there being better options they could have done, but, maybe we'll see those. We don't know. But for right now, this is pretty good for my collection that's almost starting to splinter into early, late 90s and into 2000, because I'm just getting so many figures. figures. You can't display them all, especially different versions of people. I don't really like to have tons of versions of the same wrestler on the same shelf, really. We just got one Albert so far. If there was another one, I would just want the T and A tag team with Test, just because that was in the WWF No Mercy game. This would suffice for me for like him before that. So, but we didn't get his piercing case that he always came out with, you know, when he was with draws, and that was in the WrestleMania 2000 game as like a weapon and an entrance piece for him. So that would have been a cool accessory for him, but here we just have nothing. He just has some alternate hands. But his accessory is probably all these like small details and then the detailing for like the hairy back and stuff, I would assume, how they were able to fit him into the line here. But more so than attires for main event guys, I like to see like, you know, the guys you'd more see on the other shows like Sunday Night Heat and stuff like that. I want to see them because that's probably more what I end up watching as a kid. You have the time on the weekend to watch wrestling, and you certainly couldn't afford the pay-per-views to see the big matches, so it still kind of means something to me when you get kind of guys that you probably saw more on the lower end shows. For my dream line, it's just kind of like tainted with like not so great figures and very difficult times getting the figures. You know, the stores don't really stock them. You can't really order them easily. They'll update their site in the middle of the night and they're all gone. All the scalpers buy up like 100 of them, and well, they probably don't list 100. They probably buy like 5 and then it's sold out. And then the pre-orders, they just go, oh, we can't fulfill it. And it's like, but you stocked all your stores with the figures before you did any of the pre-orders. Like, what? You do have to make sense eventually. I mean, is the whole world gone mad? But we probably wouldn't get guys like this if it wasn't a whole line dedicated to this time period, so I'm pretty thankful that there is. So if this is the kind of dude you like to see, okay, everybody's gone. Nobody's listening to me now. It's all gone. If you're still here, make sure you're subscribed. But you've probably already checked out the playlists. If not, they're there. Hopefully we'll get to see more here, but getting a little dry on the Monday Night War line. We'll see if they can keep going with good figures. And anybody else that fits this timeline, that's where I'm going to open up right here. So hopefully I'll get to see you in the next video.